Prynhawn da, a chroeso I ddinas Cardiff ac I seremoni radio Prifysgol Cardiff. Good afternoon and welcome to the city of Cardiff and to the graduation ceremony of Cardiff University. I'm Dr. Chris Turner, and it's with great pleasure that as University Director I welcome you all to today's graduation ceremony. We are here to celebrate our students' achievements, and I'm particularly pleased to welcome parents, family, and friends to join in this celebration. I'm joined here on stage by the Vice President, the Vice Chancellor, the academic staff, and the Student Union representative. The Vice President, Menna Richards, will formally open proceedings. This will be followed with the reading of the proclamation, which will be read by Ben Screen of the School of Welsh. After the reading of the proclamation, the Vice-Chancellor, Dr. David Grant, will receive students to their award. To my left is Professor Paul Atkinson, the university's orator, and later he will introduce our honorary fellow. Honorary fellowships are awarded at our graduation ceremonies to those who have achieved great distinction in their field, and today we are honored to welcome Tony Robinson. Students, today marks a marvelous milestone in your life, as it does in the lives of those who've supported you over the last few years, and it's good to see that so many of them are here today. I'm sure it will enhance your understanding and enjoyment of the day if we spend a few moments going through the procedures for the ceremony. Now, for those of you receiving an award today, perhaps you thought passing your exams was the biggest challenge in gaining your degree, but an even bigger challenge faces you today. You have still to cross this stage and shake hands with the correct person. Try not to seek your award from anyone other than the Vice-Chancellor. The order of proceedings is included in the programme, along with the words used for the various stages of the ceremony and under the relevant heading. A presenter will read out the names of the students being received to the same award. When each name is called, the student will ascend the stage, walk towards the Vice-Chancellor, and shake his hand. Whilst past experience has shown this to be a little more challenging than it sounds, your approach to the stage and your return to your seat will be carefully guided by our specially trained marshals. So don't worry, once the ceremony is underway, it really is a case of follow the leader. When you leave the stage, you will stand with your group facing the stage, and the Vice-Chancellor will formally receive you to your awards. You will doff in reply, and you'll then be reseated by the marshals. When all awards have been received, students will be asked to stand to receive the university's greetings. Also, and importantly, can I invite you to clap only after the Vice-Chancellor has admitted each group of graduates to their awards, and not as each one crosses the stage. We hope that this will ensure that your hands are still in reasonable working order by the end of the ceremony. Finally, can I please ask that you check to ensure that your mobile phone or any other bleeping device is switched off, please. Enjoy the ceremony.
Bawb a chroeso I Neuadd Dewi Sant yma yng Nghaerdydd. Good afternoon, welcome to Cardiff, to St David's Hall, and to our 2012 graduation ceremony. My name is Menna Richards, and I'm privileged to be a Vice President of Cardiff University. And the first and most important thing I have to say is congratulations to you all. Llongyfarchiadau mawr iawn I chi gyd. All of you sitting there calmly by the look of things, waiting to be admitted as graduates of this wonderful university. You deserve congratulations several times over. Firstly, congratulations on winning admission in the first place. Cardiff is one of the most sought-after universities in the UK. Admission standards are high, For every one of you sitting there, 6 or 7 other applicants were fighting keenly to be in your place today. Of course, I said one of the most sought after universities in the UK. I should have said one of the most sought after in the world. Many of you have travelled great distances for the challenges and rewards of a Cardiff University degree course. Cardiff students are valued around the world for their skills, knowledge, and positive attitude. Secondly, congratulations on all you have achieved in your academic studies. Research-led teaching is one of the distinctive features of Cardiff University, and many of you will have participated in research projects, learned to ask new questions, and to challenge conventional wisdom. Whatever you do in life, I hope that the free, inquiring Cardiff state of mind will stay with you always. We also pride ourselves on involving you, the students, in the development and direction of your courses. This year, 79% of you, Cardiff's highest response rate in our history, took part in the National Student Survey. You gave your feedback on your experiences at Cardiff in areas such as assessment, learning resources, and personal development. And your opinions will help us greatly in planning for the future. And you should also be congratulated for studying at the fine academic schools represented here today. Mae Ysgol y Gymraeg yn ysgol ddynamig a llwyddiannus yn cynnig ymchwil ac addysg o'r ansawdd uchaf oll. Mae gan yr ysgol gysylltiadau agos iawn â Patagonia ynghyd â modiwl sydd yn canolbwyntio ar yr allfudo o Gymru i Patagonia, ac efallai bydd rhai ohonoch chi wedi ei astudio. Mae graddedigion wedi mynd ymlaen i weithio i sefydliadau fel Maes Awyr Rhyngwladol Caerdydd a Chynulliad Cenedlaethol Cymru. Yn ddiweddar, enillodd un o'r raddedigion Ysgol y Gymraeg goron i Steddfod yr Urdd. The School of History, Archaeology and Religion has an international reputation for the high standard of its historical research. You will have been taught by experts in their field who have, for example, brought Sanskrit comedy to Europe, and others who are helping us to understand and connect with our history. Some of you too will quite literally have had hands-on experience of excavation, helping to uncover a new monumental Roman suburb in Caerleon. Congratulations too on what you have brought to Cardiff and to Wales. In recent years, students have successfully combined study with setting up their own businesses. Their efforts have helped the homeless here in Cardiff and paid for clean water in Africa, amongst other causes. Sport plays an important part in university life too, and your contribution has been enormous again this year. You retained the Varsity Shield for Cardiff and comprehensively beat Swansea at the Welsh varsity match at the Millennium Stadium. And others of you have competed on the international stage in rugby, cycling, cricket, surfing, and more. 2 students were also selected to run with the Olympic torch during the Cardiff leg of the journey, a great honour for them and for this university. And many of you will have taken part in Student Volunteering Cardiff, one of the largest such schemes in the country. You have given more than 80,000 hours of your most precious commodity, your time, in the past year, helping more than 800 people every week. You are a prime reason why Cardiff University is so valued in its home community. Finally, of course, congratulations on becoming fine Cardiff University graduates. Round the world, Cardiff graduates are leaders in business, in the arts, in healthcare, and of course in all fields of academic study. I know that you will build on their achievements. And there is one other group to be congratulated too. Parents, supporters, partners, families. Congratulations and thank you for all that you have done, all the support that you have shown those graduating, which has been absolutely vital to their success. And I'm delighted that you too are all here for this very special celebration. And for all of those graduating, it is, of course, not the end of your association with Cardiff University. It is, I hope, the beginning of a new relationship. You won't forget your time here, but please do use everything you have learned to help others, to educate, and to enrich lives. Value and cherish your time at Cardiff University and remember it often in the years to come, and enjoy this special ceremony.
I will now read the proclamation, first in Welsh and then in English. Nerth gwlad y Gwybodaeth. Boed hysbys i holl aelodau brifysgol hon ac ar hyd y lled y byd bod cynulliad o Brifysgol Caerdydd yn cael ei gynnal heddiw yn Prifddinas Cymru. O dan durdod siarter frenhinol y Brifysgol, mae cynulliad hwn cyfarfod i dderbyn myfyrwyr, sydd, rhywbeth hysyddiaethau a'i ysgolheicdod wedi ei holi yn briodol yn unol asetiad y Brifysgol ac wedi cael ein dailwng o'i graddau. Wrth allu llwyddiant y rhai sy'n graddio yn y cynulliad hwn, fe hwtgoffwn gyfrifoldeb i gyfrannu o werthoedd y Brifysgol hon. Dod iddynt o i'w ceisio droi ei cyflawniadau, gwasanaethu eu lles pawb, ymdrechu i sicrhau rhagoriaeth ym mhob peth ac ymboeni am ddyfodolau'n byd. Gwrandiwch yn ewchus ar ddethineb gan ei fod yn cynnig gobaith a gwirionedd am mhob peth, am mhob cenhedlaeth. Nerth gwlad ei Gwybodaeth. A nation's strength is in his learning. Let it be known to all members of the university and throughout the world that today in the capital city of Wales, a congregation of Cardiff University is taking place. Under the authority of the university's Royal Charter, this congregation meets to receive those students who, by virtue of their studies and scholarship, have been appropriately examined according to the statute of the university and found worthy of their degrees. We celebrate the success of those who graduate in this congregation and in doing so remind them of their responsibility to share in the values of this university. It is for them to seek, through their achievements, to serve the common good, to strive for excellence on all things and care for the future of our world. Be attentive to wisdom, for it offers hope and truth in every generation.
I, Professor James Whitley, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Thomas Brain, James Dewhurst, Matthew Kelly Smith, Kate O'Hara, Hannah Alderson, Adam Kevin Pierce Aruedi, Sean Astle, James Barnett, Oliver Maxim Brown, Stephanie Rhian Davis, Faye Elizabeth Florence Doherty, Morgan Lewis Edwards, Shana Louise Jane Gower, Marvin Harris, Thomas Hunt, Michael Ken Laws, Sarah Mullen, Rachel Elizabeth Olive, Joseph Sanders.
And good afternoon. At this point in the ceremony, and at other equivalent times, it is a tradition of the university for the Vice-Chancellor to speak in Welsh to receive each group of graduates to their awards. The Welsh phrase I will use, when translated, means, "Through the authority conferred upon me by the university, I receive you to the degree which I will name, and to all the privileges of that degree. Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffyraniau radd hon." Congratulations.
Duncan Charles Selms. Andrew John Smith. Rebecca Zoe Elizabeth Smythe Osborne. Richard Spenceley. Carmen Talbot. Matthew Tilling. Jessica Treacher. Nicholas Fish. Peter Andrews. Sarah Ann Booth. Caroline Dadd. James Harding. Charles Knapp. Hayley Price. Michael Sheehan. Jenny Sissons. Sarah Smith. Andrew Christopher Woolett. Kelsey Armstrong.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffyraniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Ian Christopher Burkett. Emily Louise Boyer. Victoria Chalice. Jonathan Patrick Derman. Lisa Therese Etten. Elliot Heed. James Timothy Hicks. Emily Victoria Johnson. Simon Jules. Miranda Helen Keane. Sophie Rebecca Leatham. Lara Eleanor Meek. Dominic Middleton Frith. Anna Miles. Purdy Miles. Rebecca Alice Stanford. Leo Adam Peter Sukariana Thomas. Stuart Thomas. Megan Francis Tudor.
Rwy awdurdod o brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I rodd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffraniau'r rodd hon. Congratulations.
Fiona Kate Appleton. Anna Christine Baldwin. Michelle Jane Blundell Humphreys. Saul Bowden. Bethany Josephine Christie. Nicole Grieve. Lucy Alexandra Harris. Matthew Thomas Hart. Owen Llewellyn Jones. Caroline Parkin. Rebecca Claire Rusk. Sophie Elizabeth Davis. Stephanie Hubert. Bethan Williams. Jack Merrilees. Rachel Phillips. Thomas Baker. Bethan Barrett. Elizabeth Barsby.
Rwy awdurdod y brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I rodd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffraniau'r rodd hon. Congratulations.
Sam Blacksland. Isabel Bowen. William Henry Bradley. Hannah Brayfield. Nathan Bridson. Helen Wendy Allison Chamberlain. Sophie Christina Clayton. Daniel Robert Cook. Luis Antonio Dambra. Claire Das. Ashley James Davis, Catherine Ellen Davis, Jasmine Charlotte Davis, Joanna Davis, Simon John Delflos, Kelly Lorraine Deramo, Eddie Duffy, George Dugdale, Lowry Edwards.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbynnu'r chwi I rath baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffyrraniau'r rath hon. Congratulations.
Thomas Evans, Miriam Fisher, Amy Marion George, Sophie Jade Gidley, Dominic Hammond, Andrew Harding, Amy Victoria Harris, Amy Louise Herbert, Jack Hicks, Alice Hobbs, Jessica Prudence Hodges, Athelston Holt, Lauren Hope, Isabel Hughes, Samantha Naomi Jenkins, Harriet Angharad Johnson, Daniel James Jones, Kerry Ellen Jones, Emily Mary Neal,
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbynnu'r chwi I rath baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffyrraniau'r rath hon. Congratulations.
Jacob Norman Lamb, Samantha Jane Lelly, Jennifer Louise Lewis, Nicholas John Lewis, Rosie Lewis, Catherine Louise Livingston. Sonia Llewellyn. Adam Michael Marshall. Fionn Morgan. Jennifer Susan Morgan. Eleanor Mowbray. James Neves. Gemma Victoria Nichols. Richard Anthony Knott. Richard O'Connor. Bessie Odell. Hannah Owen. Thomas Richard Parks.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol am dderiedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I rodd baglor yn y celfyddadau ac I holl ffraniau rathon. Congratulations.
Louise Jane Peddy. Rebecca Lee Phillips. William Poley. Robin Scott Porter. Esme Pugh. Amy Rees. Jessica Fleur Reeves. Jessica Louise Riley. Kate Roberts. Anna Catherine Roguski. Elizabeth Savage. Ben Spooner. Elliot Thomas. Robert Thomas. Samantha Thomas. Georgina Vernwe Tipping. Asha Verma. Jack Charles Webb.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol am dderiedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I rodd baglor yn y celfyddadau ac I holl ffraniau rathon. Congratulations.
Stephanie Webster. Eleanor Mary Rose Wells. Lydia Mary Williams. Natalie Williams. Rebecca Williams. Morton James Wright. Alice Gwen Young Powell. Henning Kuhlmann. Rebecca Louise Lakey. Laura Windsor. Alexander Gilmore LeMay. Georgina Tarry. I apologise. Nicola Jane Hall. Kaiwi Llyn Hewan. Hayley Jane Rees. Susanna Whitby. Elizabeth Lorna Williams.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a dderiedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddadau ag ei holl ffwrania rothon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Josef Lössl, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Rogan Nicholas Allport. Rosanna A. Moore. Michaela Art Arthur. Liam John Biggert Hutchinson. Danica Bolton. Michaela Jane Brinkley. Hannah Victoria Brooks. Sarah Cook. Sophie Ann Cook. Susanna Lucy Crown. Sarah Catherine Cummins. Adam Curtis. Anna Claire Dakin. Simon Dalton. Gareth Daniel Davis. Rachel Davis.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol am dderiedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddadau ag ei holl ffwrania rothon. Congratulations.
Ian Douglas, Hope Mary Ellis, Leticia Aero Castillo, Joshua Freeman, Amaryllis Gallagher, William Benjamin Garner, Gemma Louise Hamblin, Sophie Harding, Rebecca Louise Harmon, Sarah Jane Heath, Jennifer Lucy Hogan, Yasmin Janet Khan, Matthew James Martin, Leanne McDermott, Sarah Moss, Melissa Muchemwa.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbyniaf chwi I roth baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffwrania'r roth hon. Congratulations.
Thomas Parkin, Lauren Annabel Partridge, Benjamin Gahiris Pointer, Megan Bryony Reynolds, Dean Aaron Roberts, Maud Ryder, Samantha Josephine Smithy, Arian Teague, Natasha Tiley, Charlotte Trombin, Stefan Vickers, Lucy Weber, Stephanie Whitney, Sarah Williams Bainon, Rhiannon Catherine Baker, Carrie Elizabeth Einon.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbyniaf chwi I roth baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffwrania'r roth hon. Congratulations.
Annabel Jennifer Alcock, Rosie Hancox, Louise Elizabeth Larson, Lauren Kate Gillingham, Charlotte Louise Hatchie, Katie Louise Halil, Alethea Constance Mary Williams, Patrick Graham, Fiona Hollins Hurst, Nina Kaur Hamilton, Hannah Leach, Christopher Mark Duncan, Jane Guilford, Laura Mary Morgan, Sarah Fiona Moyle, Kirsten Robin McKee, Matthew Brian Wilson.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffwrania'r rathon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Joseph Lössl, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Science. Kirsty Eleanor Beecham, Rachel Elizabeth Clare, Nicholas Dawson, Vincent DeLuca, Luke Green, Stuart Hicks, Shonette Nia Jones, Karen Heather Mason, Christopher Mark Matthews, Diana Alisa Sanchez, Christine Harrison.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor man gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffwrania'r rathon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Joseph Lössl, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Theology. Richard Paul Bellingham, Jonathan Bugg, Stephen Leo Bunting, Heidi Maria de Gracci Lambert, Ian Drew Jones, Alexandra Grace, Jonathan Mark Grant, Dale Philip Norman, Andrew Perrin, Craig Aaron Vaughan.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor diwynyddol ag I holl ffwraniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Josef Lössl, introduce those who have received the Certificate of Higher Education. Linda Batt, Susan Joan Bethel, Jennifer Kimber, Helen Millard, Valerie Irene Petherick, David John Smith.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I dystysgrif addysg uwch ac I holl ffwraniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Josef Lössl, introduce those who have received the Diploma of Higher Education. Anne Elizabeth Mary Evans, Andrew David Carnell Highway, Elizabeth Jones, Leslie Jones, Susan Averina Pratten.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I ddiploma addysg uwch ac I holl ffwraniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
yr athro Sione Davies yn cyflwyno'r rhai sydd wedi derbyn gradd baglor yn y celfyddydau. Lois Angharad, Kirsty Lorraine Cox, Mared Fflir Davies, Lowry Ellen Edwards, Ffion Lynn Halfpenny, Ffion Wyn Hughes, Bethan Angharad Hughes, Elin Mair Jones, Non Mereri Jones, Catrin Ellen Lecra, Ffion Elaine Lewis, Elliw Mair, Jonathan Price, Sioned Mai Watkins, Megan Rhys Williams.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol am dderiedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffraniau'r radd hon. Llongafach iadau. Congratulations.
Mainir Eluned Williams, Elizabeth Ann Emery, Elliw Vaughan Evans, Katie June Griffiths, Samantha Lorraine Hodges, Eleri Ann Morgan, Ellen Mair Haf Reader, Jonathan Edwards, Sarah Orwig, Osian Griffith, Cadi Rhys Thomas, Rhys Owain Griffiths, Rhydian Gwyn Lewis, Dafydd Wyn Rhys, Kaylee Davis.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol am dderiedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffraniau'r radd hon. Llongafach iadau. Congratulations.
I, Professor Terry Threadgold, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Arts. Philip Robert William Bovey, Finian Henry Wright, Melissa Hannah Green. Matthew David Hetherington. Mark Robert Mansfield. Teresa Siobhan Baber. Angela Cox. Hannah Bates. Sally Isabel Roberts. Laura Ann Taylor. Amelia Christina Tomini. Emma Jane Woosnam. Muhammad Azim Ahmed. Advia Khan. Emily Rose Lewis. James Jeffrey Cameron Beattie. Jeffrey Aloysius Donnelly. Rebecca Claire Shortland. Nikki Louise Davis. Geraint Philip Thomas.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd athro yn y celfyddadau ac I holl fyrraniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Terry Threadgold, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Science. Philippa Elizabeth Turner. Ji Hyun Kwon.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd athro mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl fyrraniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Terry Threadgold, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Theology. Michael John Giorgio. Christopher John Grucock. Pascal Joseph Hanrahan. Cole Andrew Maynard. Anne McCormick. David Michael Payne. Julian Paul Raffay. Sally Elizabeth Rees. Richard Mark Smith. Lisa Marie Harris. Sally Jennifer Jones.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I rodd athro mewn diwinyddiaeth ac I holl ffyraniau'r rodd hon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Terry Threadgold, introduce those who have received the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Adam Oliver Anders. Chris Dennis. Kenneth James Donovan. Thomas Edward Hunt. Richard David William Madgwick. Caroline Helen Pudney. Maya Rees. Cleon Prideri Roberts. Christopher Philip Timmins. Layla Lara Welford. Alan Davis Williams. Simon Patrick Woodman. Martin Kevin Wright.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I rodd doethyr mewn athroniaeth ac I holl ffyraniau'r rodd hon. Congratulations.
Can I now invite all of you who have received your awards this afternoon to stand so that you can receive the greetings of the Vice President, Menna Richards, and the representative of the Students' Union, Harry Newman. Please stand.
May your care ever be for the good name of our university and the well-being of our world.
You are now members of the distinguished alumni of this university. May your association with the university be cherished and be constant throughout your life. And may your care be ever be for the fellowship of our university and the welfare of all people.
And before you sit down, I'm sure that all you very proud graduates would like to join in a long-standing tradition at Cardiff University at these ceremonies, and that is to pay a special tribute to your families and friends who have supported you in so many ways over many years, not least financially, and indeed to thank the academic staff who've helped you reach this important point in your life today. Can I therefore invite you to turn around to greet your family and friends and say a special and public thank you by giving them all an enthusiastic round of applause. Thank you, and please be seated.
Vice-Chancellor, if I may, just a word to the graduates. We're all very proud of you. And also proud and pleased to be standing here to present Tony Robinson as a Fellow of Cardiff University. Tony Robinson, of course, needs little introduction, Vice-Chancellor. He's known and admired for his many achievements, not least, of course, his television roles. And, of course, he came to prominence with the character with whom, whether he likes it or not, he is always associated, for which he'll always be remembered. As we all know, in the successive Blackadder series, the various recurrent characters were, I think, creations of comic genius, and Baldrick was one of the most enduring. There is more. He was, of course, a caricature of the fate of many of our own ancestors, mine included, from domestic service to cannon fodder in the First World War. It takes outstanding comedy writing to create such enduring characters, but it also takes acting of a high quality to endow them with something extra, something special, a touch of humanity that transcends the purely comic and introduces a sense of pathos as well. As you know, I know, Tony remains forever haunted by that catchphrase. But I cannot help but think, Vice-Chancellor, a cunning plan hatched by a simpleton, all too reminiscent of successive governments' plans for higher education. It's a good job I'm retiring soon, isn't it? Tony's been equally successful as a writer for TV. His many credits, include 4 series of the children's comedy series, Maid Marian and Her Merry Men, and indeed, much of his work has been for children. He has, for instance, launched a series of books on history for children, beginning with the Romans and the Egyptians, and he attributes the inspiration for this venture to the birth of his granddaughter, Holly. In total, he's already written 18 books for children. His television work for children is extensive, including 30 episodes of Fat Tulip's Garden, a 13-part series based on Homer, and 26 episodes based on the Bible, Blood and Honey. His work for children's broadcasting has been recognised by 2 Royal Television Society Awards, a BAFTA, and the International Prix Jeunesse. He has, of course, also been an outstanding presenter of factual television programmes. He is, of course, best known as the face of Time Team, which has aired since 1994. while not perhaps without its detractors among academic archaeologists, the programme has brought archaeology to an extraordinarily wide audience. Tony's indefatigable enthusiasm, coupled with lively scepticism, has been a permanent feature of the show. And perhaps, like Baldrick, he represents a sort of everyman figure, the voice of the lay viewer. Time Team has introduced television audiences to a wide variety of archaeological techniques, such as geophysical surveying and dendrochronology, counting of tree rings. The welcome repeats of the show, which I have to say are an absolutely constant pleasure, have also led some to even newer techniques of relative chronology, such as the increasing dilapidation of Phil Harding's hat. And it's also led me to invent a whole new archaeological science, which I now freely share with my colleagues on the platform. That is trichochronology, which involves dating each Time Team episode by the length and volume of Tony's hair. Recently, Time Team came and worked with our colleagues and students in archaeology. They worked together at Cardiff, where our students had discovered a hitherto unknown Roman city and the biggest Roman port hitherto known outside of Italy. We cherish that association very much. Tony has made numerous contributions to public life. He's been Vice President of British Actors Equity, and between 2000 and 2004, he was a member of the National Executive Committee of the Labour Party. Tony is also President of the Young Archaeologists Club. He's been honoured by several universities for his contributions to broadcasting, to archaeology, and to politics, and we're delighted to add to his honours today by making him a Fellow of Cardiff University. An rhybeddus isgan herllor, y cyflwynaf I ti Tony Robinson, fel camrawr ar anrhedydd, Prifysgol Cardiff.
Rwy'r awdurdod a roddwyd I mi gan y cyngor derbyniaf chwi fel cymrawd anrhedydd Brifysgol Caerdydd.
Thank you very much. Vice-Chancellor, fellow graduates, members and officers of Cardiff University, doting parents, and those in the cheap seats. I'd like to run a theory by you for the next few minutes, if you'll bear with me, which is that aliens do exist. They live in outer space, and one of them, who for argument's sake I'll call Graham, was flying around Cardiff this afternoon on a reconnaissance mission, and he looked down at St David's Hall, and he parked his flying saucer, and he got out of it, and he went in the front door, and he ran up 3 levels, and he peered through that little door at the back there. It's just a hypothesis, you don't need to turn around. What conclusions do you think he came to when he observed all of us for the last hour? He saw 350 members of the cream of young Britain dressed in the most ridiculous costumes, so inappropriate that most of you could hardly make it up that one stair across the red carpet and down again without your hats falling off or the cloaky bit dropping down to your shoulders. Many of you wearing shoes so high that you were forced to walk in the most bizarre way never seen before in Wales, with the possible exception of in Newport. You've heard the waves of applause as your doters watched their little ones stagger across this carpet. You've heard the applause. You heard it flag after a quarter of an hour as exhaustion, tedium and repetitive strain injury crept in. Apart from the very occasional whoop, cheer or whistle broke out, presumably to indicate popularity. But Graham knows that those who are popular on the reception of their first degree will almost inevitably be dedicated to a life of telephone sales and retail at Woolworths. Whereas those who walked by in complete silence, particularly those whose contemporaries turned to each other and said, "Was he on my course? I've never seen him before in my life," will feel so angry, bitter and humiliated by the whole experience that they'll be fueled to become the next generation's movers, shakers and Bob Diamonds. And Graham is now about to see those same 350 graduates go out of here, throw their hats in the air and pose for photographs which they will give to their grandparents, who will put them on the mantelpiece next to all the other photos of like people of the same generation dressed in similar costumes, and they will sit and look at them for the rest of their lives wondering who the hell you are. In other words, at a time when the world's financial system is in a state of apparent terminal collapse, when global warming and the ensuing flooding means that whole cities like Swansea could be swept away, and I know that you in Cardiff will be shocked to hear that, when our politicians, our newspaper barons and our bankers have been exposed as cheats, as bullies and as scoundrels, what is your response? It is to prance around like extras at Hogwarts in Harry Potter and the hellhole of St. David's. What conclusions can Graham come to other than that you and I and all of us are stark, staring bonkers, and that there is no need for his civilization to exterminate us because we're doing pretty well at that job ourselves, and by the end of the 21st century we'll probably have finished that task? Well, that is what Graham may be thinking. On the other hand, maybe, just maybe, Graham will come to a different conclusion. Because maybe Graham knows a bit about history, and he knows that for the best part of 1,000 years, despite flood and famine and pestilence and the other 747 horsemen of the apocalypse who have breathed their foulness on our nation, even though kings and politicians and those who hold the public purse have assaulted our people with their greed, venality and incompetence, there is one set of institutions, our network of universities, who have blazed like the jewels which adhere to Lady Gaga's bottom and have provided the energy, inspiration and know-how to renew, Great Britain time and time again. It's our universities who've resisted the cries of the bishops to recite the catechism rather than explore God's wonders. It's our universities who've refused to endorse the proposition that the world is flat or was created in 7 days, when our maths and our science show that it undoubtedly isn't true. It's our universities who've combated the blackmail of the threat of diminished resources and have found ways to develop new income, more often than not supported by people like you who have been through the system and understand how important it is. And Graham, if he has any sense in the tips of his tentacles, will realise that that kind of malarkey is still going on. Our universities are still being sat on. They are still being underfunded. They are still being told that certain courses are appropriate and certain other courses are inappropriate in tomorrow's world, whereas it's obvious, even to the lowest form of life on Graham's planet, even if it's not obvious to our politicians, that no one has any idea what skills will be appropriate in 10 or 5 or even 3 years' time. And what our universities should be teaching is intellectual flexibility and the use of the imagination so they can confront any challenge. And whether they teach maths or media studies or chemistry or art history or even archaeobleedingology, it doesn't matter. As long as the teaching is good and the students want to learn, that is all that matters. And it is nonsense to assume that certain chunks of knowledge, like the Catechism of the Middle Ages, have to be drummed into us if we're going to be employable. Rote learning is easy. All of us, we all do it. Look at any kid, regardless of intelligence or education, kicking a ball against a garage wall for hour after hour, learning a particular footballing skill. Look at someone painting their nails, removing it with nail varnish remover, putting the more nail varnish on again and again and again, 6 times before breakfast. Look at our kids reciting every one of the words of JLS's latest hits. It's easy. We're hardwired to do this kind of thing. Michael Gove may think that it's this that divides the genius from the cretin, but all of us do it every day. The reality is that if we are to address our collapsing financial system and global warming and the challenge of the movement of millions of people over the face of the earth, it's Cardiff University and places like this which we'll need to turn to. And it's this funny ceremony and the ironic faces that some of you pulled and the foxy high heels that some of you wore that are a recognition that even in today's daft throwaway modern world, the old values that are taught here can and are celebrated. And when I say the old values, I don't mean knowledge, which as far as I'm concerned is nothing more than unassembled Lego bricks. I mean reason, I mean understanding, I mean ethical behavior, even just occasionally the glimmer of wisdom. That's what this daft clobber represents, and I salute that. And you may think this is just populist rhetoric drummed up because I want to butter up the Vice-Chancellor, because he's made me a fellow of the university, which means that in perpetuity I will have free use of the library and will be able to read completely uninterrupted the entire trilogy of 50 Shades of Grey. But it doesn't matter whether I believe in our universities, but Graham believes in our universities, as do all the multi-headed woodlice people on his planet, as I believe do you. And for me, who left school at 16 and is infinitely jealous of the experience that you've all had over the last few years, I'm deeply honoured to have been given this fellowship, and I promise to be the best fellow that I possibly can. In fact, I hope that in future people will turn and point at me in the street and say, "He's a jolly good fellow." Because I can't think of any honour that I would rather receive than to be honoured by Wales's university, by one of Britain's finest universities, indeed by one of the finest universities in the world. Thank you.
Mae nawr yn ddyletswydd arna I ddilyn y seremoni yma I ben. I now have the duty to draw these proceedings to a close. This occasion is naturally one of the most pleasurable and joyful in the university calendar. It's a huge pleasure to be on this platform, to see the pride, indeed the relief on some faces of those graduates as they cross this stage. And I have to say, that unlike Tony, I was very impressed by some of the very stylish shoes that I saw. But it is wonderful too that you've all had the opportunity to share this occasion with Tony Robinson and to hear the wisdom of Graham, a real inspiration to us all for his work as a presenter and an author. And I trust that the pride and the joy that you feel today will stay with you always. And in the years to come, you will look back on your time in Cardiff University and realise that the happiness you've experienced here, the friendships you've made, and the depth of knowledge and experience gained have all served you well in your journey through life. Today, you join the worldwide family of Cardiff University alumni. It's a family that helps you stay in touch with each other and with us. I hope that you will remember and share your experience, that you will come back and see us often, and that you will continue to support us so new generations can benefit, as you have done, from the outstanding teaching and learning here at Cardiff University. Ar ran Prifysgol Caerdydd, rwy'n dymuno pob llwyddiant I chi gyd yn y dyfodol. On behalf of Cardiff University, your academic staff, the officers, your fellow students, and the great body of alumni throughout the world, I wish you all every success in the future. Good luck. Pob lwc I chi gyd.